Shooting USA is brought to you by SnapSafe and the full line of Trek Light lockboxes. Affordable security for home or travel. Get 15% off with code SUSA15 at snapsafe.com. If you've been involved in competitive shooting sports anytime within the last 100 years, then you've heard of Camp Perry. The name is synonymous with the oldest and most prestigious annual trophy matches in our nation's history. And in a place that's renowned for what might be the most challenging service rifle matches, the sport of precision pistol is no less important, no less challenging, and no less respected. The Civilian Marksmanship Program has invited traditional pistol shooters to Camp Perry, Ohio, to compete in the National Trophy Pistol Matches. One look, and you know. The stance, the intense concentration, and of course, the one-handed grip. It's all unmistakable as the game of Bullseye pistol. But this is Camp Perry, and here at the CMP National Matches, when it comes to pistol, there is no other game.
One-handed, 50 yards, nothing like it. Hit that X-ring.
That's been the goal for generations of shooters since the pistol games were added to the National Trophy Matches way back in 1904. At Camp Perry, the Civilian Marksmanship Program carries on a proud yearly tradition that brings civilians and military service members together for historic competition. Staff Sergeant Ryan Franks is here with the Army Marksmanship Unit.
This is, I believe, one of America's oldest shooting sports, and you know, you can see the turnout up here of just all ages, and there is a rich history here being at Camp Perry.
Being a part of that rich history has turned into a yearly pilgrimage for a lot of these shooters. Steve Huff from Accuracy X has brought his whole pistol team.
It's one of the longest running competitive events in history. I mean, it's been going over 100 years. It's a phenomenal kind of environment where it's almost like a giant family reunion for all of us. So it's a special place. Once it gets in your blood, you kind of want to keep coming back.
This is sacred ground. We have some friends here that got married here a couple of years ago. It's that special. You know, it's just a proud place to be.
For Adam Kopstein, manager of Team Ultradot, history isn't the only draw that brings him here.
You know, it's the camaraderie. You know, we've got great friends. It's an incredible group of people that are here every year, year after year.
And this year, almost 900 of those people are here to shoot precision pistol. One of those is Judy Tant. Bullseye is her only shooting discipline, and she discovered it by chance while studying music in college. But even a student's meager budget couldn't keep her away.
I got hooked very early. That first year I shot, I spent more on guns, ammunition, and travel to matches than I did on food and housing.
Judy will tell you that no matter how long you've been in the sport, the pursuit of the perfect shot never goes away.
Oh, I love it. Of the shooting sports, pistol sports at least, this is one of the most difficult. It is endlessly challenging. You never arrive.
The pistol shooters won't be reaching out to 600 yards like the service rifle matches do, but make no mistake, Bullseye pistol shot at 25 and 50 yards is no less daunting.
It's not quite like three-position rifle, but you've got that wobble to be dealing with all the time. The rifle shooters can get it right down to a teeny, teeny, tiny. We never do.
No doubt there are plenty of variables to deal with, but there's one that comes with an old saying: at Camp Perry, you can rely on the weather. It will always be unpredictable.
On a day like this, all our routines are turned upside down. The main goal is keep things dry.
We got Lake Erie Jr. there to walk right through to get to our targets. And this is the condition they're in.
They're supposed to be sunny and 80 degrees, and all of a sudden, boom, a storm comes up and clear the range, and it's downpour and hail, and all the different type of weather you could get.
Bruce Rounds is no stranger to the legendary weather at Camp Perry, but for him, there's something more to it. His theory hints at the paranormal.
A lot of us refer to it as the Perry Triangle. What can go wrong will go wrong at the most inopportune time. You'll look down your sights and like, oh my God, my sights at 25 when I'm at 50, or I got the wrong gun. So the Perry Triangle.
Dave Harrington is neither superstitious nor worried about the weather.
Yeah, the weather, I've always liked shooting in bad weather, because a lot of people don't, and gives me an advantage.
Unfortunately, Dave's advantage couldn't protect him from the swift and terrible effects of the Perry Triangle.
My target blew away. I never got a shot off. It's easier to shoot a target when it's there. But when the wind blows it away, you can't hit it.
Normal Camp Perry, there's always conditions.
Obviously, Jeff Davis isn't at all surprised to see cold, wind, rain, and 50-degree temperatures in the middle of summer.
When you got it coming sideways across here and you can't see and the scorecards are getting washed out, and that usually is a big challenge.
And once you've accepted those challenges, it all comes down to the basics.
Sight alignment and trigger control. That's what they tell you. Two magic things. So it's a hard hold and a soft trigger. And you'd think that would be easy, and it's not.
So it's not easy. Maybe even the most difficult pistol sport of all. Sometimes it might even be downright miserable. So what keeps all these bullseye shooters coming back year after year?
Look around. It's Camp Perry. We love it. It's pistol. It's days out. Nothing like Camp Perry. It's the original place to shoot.
A word on the rules of precision pistol. You're seeing 3 required guns chambered in .22 long rifle, any center fire, 32 caliber or more, which is mostly 9mm these days, and the third required caliber is .45 ACP. Optics are optional, 1-power red dots, but many competitors prefer iron sights. The challenge is slow fire at 50 yards, then timed fire, 5 shots in 20 seconds, and rapid fire, 5 shots in 10 seconds, with both of those shot at 25 yards. The strings of fire are combined to make up the different national trophy matches. And coming up, the prestige of being one of the President's 100.
The .22 Advanced Rifle Cartridge easily outperforms all other .22 caliber cartridges in its class, producing .22 250 performance in an AR-15 platform. The .22 ARC is engineered to take full advantage of the most aerodynamic .22 caliber bullets. This means tighter groups, increased accuracy, and an exceptional shooting experience. .22 Advanced Rifle Cartridge from Hornady.
Every year during the CMP's National Trophy Pistol matches at Camp Perry, there are no fewer than 24 separate match trophies that will go to the top bullseye pistol shooters, both military and civilian. But there's one match among them with a name that carries a lot of weight, the President's 100.
Ready on the right, ready on the left.
Every year, shooters of any skill level can compete in the CMP's National Pistol Trophy matches at Camp Perry. But only the top 10% can vie for a place among those who can call themselves one of the 100.
That's my goal, yes, sir.
The President's 100 is a 40-round match, and only the top 100 shooters will actually make the cut.
That's why I'm still here. I've distinguished since '92. Never made the President's 100. It doesn't look like today is going to be a good day either.
Still striving, still trying. Been shooting since 2000.
There's plenty here to challenge the best of pistol shooters. Aggregate scores in various caliber matches can take all week to complete. And if your goal is distinguished pistol status, chasing the points you'll need can take months or even years. But the President's 100 is one match, only 40 shots, that will make or break your chance to wear the tab that says you're one of the few.
You only have one shot to make it that year, and if you don't, you got to wait a whole another year. So,
Sergeant Anthony Heinauer of the Army Marksmanship Unit is here, fresh from his third-place overall win at the Bianchi Cup. Even he will tell you the President's 100 is no cakewalk.
honestly, I'm hoping just to try to do my best every single time I come here. And this year so far, I've done the best I've done in the past 7 years. So I'm really happy with it.
Understandable, because placing in the President's 100 has added significance for anyone serving in the military. Brandon Sickles knows the importance of the tab, thanks to his training with the Texas National Guard.
It's a pretty big deal, especially if you're a service member in the Army, because it's one of the 4 tabs that you get to wear in uniform. So it's, it makes you stand out, especially when you go back to your unit. You're seen as a subject matter expert, and your soldiers and your buddies can lean on you for that level of training.
I've got it the past 6 years so far, so I'm trying to make another one.
That's no small deed. Like all of the trophy pistol matches this week, the President's 100 is shot from both 25 yards and 50 yards. Out of the 40 rounds fired, there's a max 400 points possible.
The record's 392, I think. So it's tough. It's a hard, grueling match, actually, for 40 shots.
Match director Jim Henderson should know. He's been one of the 100 9 times.
So it's a 40-shot match, 2 strings of slow fire at 50 yards, 10 shots in 10 minutes. And then we move to the 25-yard line, and we do 2 strings of 5 shots in 20 seconds. And then we do 2 strings of 5 shots in 10 seconds.
The top 100 shooters will get the President's 100 tab, which is a coveted award that most of us are dreaming about, and I've been doing it for about 10 years trying to get to it.
And honestly, the worst place to be is 101. You're always called like first leather. You were almost there.
I've made 101 a couple times.
So being one of the 100 is prestigious enough, but how does POTUS figure in?
You used to get a letter from whoever the sitting president was of the United States. They would congratulate you on your win, all the rest of that kind of stuff. It was pretty cool. Those haven't happened too much, but I'd love to have those start happening again. I got 4 of them from President Bush Jr. A letter from the White House in your mail. That's not bad.
Not bad indeed, and although the letters no longer arrive, the desire to be counted among the honorable 100 year after year just doesn't go away.
If you make the President's 100, you can actually go, you know what, I really worked hard for that. It's not a gimme, it's not perfect conditions, it's a trial. It's going to be hard. And I think it makes that trophy and that win that much more prestigious.
I would like to make President's 100 again. I've made it, I think, 13 times already. I'd love a 14th.
And for a lifetime shooter like Judy Tant, what could a 14th win possibly mean to her?
Oh, it will mean there's still hope. And I figure it's good for the sport. If a small gray-haired lady, well, I guess white-haired lady, can make it into the President's 100, then they can too.
That's motivating advice from someone who knows.
If it doesn't encourage them, then it will embarrass the heck out of them. Either way, they get motivated.
Motivated by a small white-haired lady who has a lifelong passion for the challenge of Bullseye. And still ahead, the history, the challenge, and the technique of standing very still to succeed in Bullseye. Shooting USA is brought to you by Les Bear Customs 1911s, hand-fitted to perfection because you'll accept nothing less. And by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. The techniques we use these days for defensive or competitive handgun shooting have certainly changed over the last century. But at historic Camp Perry during the CMP's National Trophy matches, 114 years of tradition still rules the day. And you can't get much more traditional than Bullseye Precision Pistol. Although it may have roots in an earlier time, Bullseye is a highly respected discipline and one of the most challenging in handgun competition. When it comes to precision pistol, don't expect the sort of run-and-gun shooting you'll see at your typical action pistol match. Even the rapid-fire string might sound like a lifetime to the average steel shooter. Well, that may be, but don't be fooled.
I mean, you're trying to hit something at 50 yards. The 10 ring is like that big. That's a long piece, and your arm's going like this. Yeah, it's a mental game. So somehow you got to tell your brain, pull the trigger, would you please? And the brain says, no, I don't want to pull the trigger. I want to wait till it stops, and we know it's perfect. Well, it never happens, so.
And that's where that unmistakable bullseye stance comes in, helping steady the hand as the reluctant brain catches up. It's that stance that really says, this is bullseye.
One-handed 50 yards, nothing like it. Hit that X-ring.
But it wasn't always so unique. Before Jeff Cooper's signature two-handed grip changed the entire mindset of defensive pistol training, the outstretched arm and single-handed aim was considered the only way to properly fire a handgun. And it was the way that law enforcement and military personnel were trained for generations.
We hail from the era of the cavalry-style pistol shooting. So our style of shooting is based more in history than it is in current practical needs.
But here at Camp Perry, tradition lives on.
Bullseye does have a long, deep history. You can still see old black and white photos of gentlemen in their suits shooting, revolvers out on the line, and they would get dressed up to come shoot competitions.
But history is just that.
Ready on the left.
Today, everything about the bullseye stance is calculated to provide a competitive edge.
The stance helps us in mitigating the wind, in adapting with recoil management. Two-handed, I can have faster and better follow-up shots, but one-handed shooting is very precise, or can be very precise if done properly.
But doing it properly means more than just the difference between two-handed or one.
It's actually a full body sport too. People think it's just your arm hanging out there, but your arm is supported by your shoulders, your back, your legs, everything. It's a full body sport.
Several reps we have to do at the gym and make sure that our PT is up and good to go, but it's very physically draining on not only that dominant arm, but the shoulder, and depending on how you stand in your position, it'll also transfer that recoil in different areas.
But for Sergeant Heinauer, the physicality is excellent cross-training for all the other pistol sports. He's building consistency through lots of repetition.
A lot of the sports that we shoot for pistol don't have that. It's always changing, whether it's action style, USPSA, 3-gun, anything like that. It's always changing. So overall, it's very good for not only, physically with your hold, but then it's doing the same exact thing consistently.
And the consistency that can land you a national trophy comes from understanding that classic bullseye stance.
It's all about natural point of aim. So it's getting whatever your body is naturally comfortable with, where it's naturally pointed at the target, so you don't have to use your muscle support to do that. So you're using as much bone structure as you can. So because your arms fatigue, your bones don't fatigue. So you always are adjusting your body, never your arm, right? So you're moving your feet to move your natural point of aim.
So you've got your feet in the right place, and your whole body is supporting your natural point of aim. Your brain has finally caught up with your trigger finger, and there's the X-ring in your sights. But wait, this is Camp Perry, remember? And here comes the wind.
Your hold is your hold. You can just, shoot in the lulls, or decide just to, I'm going to shoot harder than woodpecker lips and just hold it in the wind. And then the job is easy, because all you have to do is just squeeze the trigger and accept whatever happens.
Thanks again for tuning into the Shooting USA YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed the content. A couple of notes. Make sure you take advantage of SUSA15 at snapsafe.com. That's our discount code that saves you 15% on anything from SnapSafe, and that gets to be some big money when you start talking about modular safes and vault doors. Also, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our new content. As always, a like and a comment helps us with that algorithm.